You're watching Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
We're back one-on-one with Linda Lavin. So after 9 years of Alice,
Yes.
you did film, you directed, acted.
I produced movies for television, made a deal with CBS to produce movies for them, and I did about one a year, and they all had to do with women who walked through fire and came out still standing. I did a movie called The 520 an Hour Dream about a woman who worked in a factory and found out that she could make more money on the production line. And I did a movie about life and death in the hospital, about a true story I'd seen on 60 Minutes about a nurse named Joy Eufema from Pennsylvania. And I went and made rounds with her so I could, and then hired a writer. So it was a terrific time in my life because I could, very creative and very empowering. I could tell stories about women I cared about and then try to be like those women in my own life.
And then you went back to Broadway.
Back to Broadway.
In Neil Simon's Broadway Bound.
That's right. Not an easy task, by the way. He was, the part of his mother was the last part to be cast. He had cast the whole play, and Gene Saks, his favorite director at that time, was directing the play, and he hadn't cast the part of his mother. Broadway Bound is the second in a trilogy.
Right.
It started with Biloxi Blues, then Brighton Beach Memoirs, now Broadway Bound, the third in the trilogy. And he wasn't too keen on having me play it. I had done a play of his in 1970, The Last of the Red Hot Lovers.
Also nominated for Tony.
Yes.
But you won for Broadway Bound.
Yes, 17 years later, right? 17? Yeah. But in the meantime, I had done Alice. And I had breakfast with him one day while he was thinking over, should he give me this part?
Oh, really?
You know, he knew that I had the ability to do it, but there was something holding him back. It was, after all, the part of his mother, very personal.
Right.
So I sat with him at breakfast. I know exactly what he was eating, and he was wearing tennis clothes. It was at the Beverly Hills Tennis Club. And I got dressed up like a woman from the 40s and went to breakfast with him, because that was when the play would take place.
You wanted him to see his mother.
I wanted him to see his mother. And I sat with him and I said, this must be very difficult for you to think of Alice playing your mother. And his eyes lit up and he looked at me as if I'd gotten it. Yeah. So, and I said, on the other hand, it might be very productive for you financially to have Alice playing your mother. You know, it's the yin and the yang of it. Because as far as ticket sales were concerned, Alice was a huge success, and now I had a name on Broadway. So I said to him, you know, I'll read for you if you want. I don't want you to hire me without knowing I can do this part.
What did he say after you won the Tony?
Thank you. I don't remember. Yeah, no, he was excited for me. I have a beautiful piece that he's written to me on a picture that he wrote, a very personal piece. He wrote a beautiful part, and I got to play it. And he rewrote it when I came into the play. So I'm very grateful to him, and I know he is to me.
We're going to have to fast forward because I don't want to miss. We're running out of time of how you got to Wilmington, and
I came here to make a movie.
Was it the Mary Tyler Moore?
It was
movie.
Yes, Mary Tyler Moore.
With Mary Tyler Moore.
That's right, and Paul Winfield.
Yeah.
And we came here, and I landed downtown and went to dinner at the Pilot House. Took a walk the next morning and said, "This is it. I'm meant to live here."
It was that quick.
It was that quick. A little voice spoke to me. Of course, it speaks to me in Paris, France, too, but it's better here for me. I speak the language.
You know, you have, before we get to how you met Steve, your husband, you have such a knack for knowing what's right for you. How do you choose projects and material? Is it just gut?
I've been very lucky, and a lot of it is gut, absolutely. I do trust my instinct and my heart and my gut, and I read material, and if it makes me laugh and cry, usually at the same time, that's always a good way to tell. If it's something that as I'm reading a script, I want to start reading out loud, I want to pull it off the page, I want to
embody it, you want to live it.
Yes, thank you very much, yes. Then that's something I want to do. If I want it inside me, I want to produce it. So yes, that's a big part of it. And I think, you know, I've been very lucky, and
good instinct.
And that's a blessing to have the right people, the right opportunities, timing, all of that. I'm sure, you know, there's a lot that I still want to do, so.
And you met your husband after you moved to Wilmington.
I did, yes.
Quickly, tell us, where Jimmy, how'd that happen?
Well, it happened because I started a foundation here working with children, and I went to Cape Cod to work with a group of young teenagers, and the person who owned the theater said a very good friend, Steve Bakunis, had just moved to Wilmington and would I like to meet him? And I said, sure.
Yeah, you're open to it.
I was open to it, and we met. Well, people had been so gracious and warm to me that I wanted to be the same with a newcomer. And so we've been very gracious and warm to each other for now 10 years.
Did you like him right away?
I loved him right away.
You did?
I did.
Yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
And of course, you built the Red Barn Studio Theater together.
Yes.
You're perforring right now.
Yes.
Well, not right now, but
Yes.
currently.
Yes.
In Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Is that
Great
through
through the end of May. We've extended it 3
extended.
times. We've sold out every time we extend it.
Well,
Through the end of May.
Before we get to the end of the show, I want to put up on screen the number for reservations because folks you've got to see this show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it to you. If it's not up on the screen, write it down or remember it or look up the Red Barn Theater in
7620955.
Yes.
Just give a call. And
Yeah.
It's a little theater, so 40 seats. That's all
I
we
saw
have.
you opening night, and you are so funny, and you break our hearts. What drew you to the part?
Oh, well, it's just, you know, it's a fantastic role. Very beautifully written by Alfred Urey, beautifully done. And we have an actor in town who's so right for the part of the driver, Hoke, Maxwell Page, and Jason Hatfield playing my son. And next we're going to do Speed the Plow, a David Mamet
You're
play
directing.
that I'll direct, and Steve Bakunis will star in, with Gil Johnson.
We're out of time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to do
bye.
another week.
Okay, I'll come
with
back.
you.
You do this so well.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
Loved it.
Linda Lavin, if you want to see online, byline, go to WILM-TV.com. I'm Don Ansell. We'll see you next week.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning at 11 as we explore the issues that concern you.